By the end of this video, you're going to know something most people never figure out their whole lives. Not motivation, not advice, just a fact about the universe that kind of breaks your brain. Stay till the end, trust me on this one. But first, I got a question for you. Are you sure you exist? Not like, are you alive? I mean, are you sure this version of you is the only one? Right now, while you're watching this. We'll get back to that. Don't go anywhere. One more thing before we start. At the very end, I'm going to tell you why there are two answers to one question, and both of them are terrifying. You'll get it when we get there. You know what always annoyed me about school? They teach you answers, all day, for years, but nobody tells you the truth. The most important questions, nobody has the answers to. Like, nobody. Not a single person on Earth. When I was a kid, I used to wonder about stuff. What's it like to be a dog? Do fish feel pain? Was the Big Bang just an accident? Is there a God? And if there is, why does everyone just assume it's a dude? Is there a plan for my life? Is the future already written? Or am I writing it right now? Who am I anyway? Just a biological machine? Then why can I think about thinking? I figured I'd grow up and someone would explain all this. Like, someone has to know, right? Nope, nobody knows. These questions bother me more now than when I was a kid. But that's not a bad thing. That's the most interesting thing, because they drag you to the edge of what humans actually know. And out there, it's dark, and kind of beautiful. Okay, you're on a long flight, looking out the window, mountains, deserts, oceans. You think, damn, Earth is huge. Then you remember something. There's an object you see every single day. 1,000,000 Earths could fit inside it. That's the sun. Seems massive, but in the context of the universe, it's a speck. One of roughly 400 billion stars just in the Milky Way. Now picture this. Every star is a grain of sand. Just our galaxy fills a 30 by 30 foot stretch of beach, 3 feet deep, with sand. And all the beaches on Earth combined aren't enough to represent the stars in the observable universe. That beach would stretch for hundreds of millions of miles. Holy Stephen Hawking, that's a lot of stars. I need you to feel that, not just understand it, feel it, because it gets worse. Here's the thing though, all those hundreds of billions of galaxies, that's only what we can see. Beyond that edge, space just keeps going, and going, and going, and physicists have something to say about what's out there. Space is expanding, accelerating. Most galaxies are moving away from us so fast that their light will never reach Earth. You and me, we're made of the same atoms as those invisible galaxies. Electrons, protons, quarks, neutrinos. Literally the same stuff. But some physicists go further. String theory says there could be other universes, with different particles, different laws of physics, up to 11 dimensions. Most of those universes couldn't support life. They'd flash in and out of existence in a nanosecond. But together, they form a multiverse. The leading version of string theory predicts 10 to the power of 500 universes, a 1 followed by 500 zeros. To feel what that means, if every atom in our observable universe had its own universe, and every atom in those universes had its own universe, and you did that 2 more times, you'd still be at a tiny fraction of the total. And that number is still smaller than infinity, because some physicists think spacetime is literally infinite. Infinite pocket universes, each with its own rules. How's your brain doing? Quantum mechanics adds another layer, completely proven, no debate. But making sense of it breaks scientists' brains. Some think the only way to explain quantum theory is if billions of parallel universes are being born every single second. Remember that question from earlier? In one of those universes, you watched this to the end. In another, you bailed at the 3-minute mark. Both versions of you exist right now. Pick the right one. Some scientists say all of this is nonsense. One universe. Just one. Some philosophers go even further. Even our universe might be an illusion. So, the number of universes, somewhere between 0 and infinity, nobody knows. But right now, this might be the biggest shift in human knowledge in all of history. Good time to study physics. Alright, I promised you a question with 2 terrifying answers. Here it is. If the universe is this massive, and there could be 500 billion planets just in our galaxy, why haven't we seen anyone? This is what physicist Enrico Fermi asked back in 1950. Where is everybody? Yeah, I know. Some people say UFOs are visiting all the time and the government's covering it up. Come on. So what's the actual riddle? Here are the numbers. As of 2024, NASA confirmed over 5,500 exoplanets, 5,500 real worlds outside our solar system. And that's just what we found so far. If you extrapolate, there could be 500 billion planets in the Milky Way alone. If only 1 in 10,000 has conditions for life, that's 50 million potential life-harboring planets, right here, in our galaxy. Earth didn't form until 9 billion years after the Big Bang. Other planets formed earlier, by billions of years. If even a few of them developed intelligent life, that life had millions, maybe billions of years to spread across the galaxy. Build giant energy-harvesting structures around stars, send signals, do something. We see nothing. Why? But here's what's different now. We're not just sitting around wondering, we're actually starting to look properly. In 2021, we launched the James Webb Space Telescope. $10 billion, 25 years to build. And it's already changing everything. In April 2025, a team from Cambridge University used Webb to study a planet called K2-18b, 124 light-years away. Sitting right in the habitable zone of its star, they detected a molecule called dimethyl sulfide in the atmosphere. On Earth, that molecule is only produced by living organisms, marine phytoplankton specifically. The lead researcher called it the most promising sign of life beyond Earth ever found. Now, other scientists pushed back almost immediately. They said the signal is real, but weak, nowhere near the confidence level needed to call it a definitive discovery. One astronomer said the enthusiasm far exceeded the strength of the evidence, so it's not confirmed. It might not be life. But here's what matters. This is the first time we detected something in another planet's atmosphere that on Earth is exclusively made by living creatures. That has never happened before in human history. And the debate, that's science doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Test it, check it again, look harder. That's exactly what's happening right now. Webb is also pointed at Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to us, 4.3 light-years away, looking for a planet in the habitable zone. If something's there, we'll know within a few years. We are living in that moment, right now. Back to the question, why haven't we seen anyone? A few explanations, some of them dark. 1. A single superintelligent civilization already controls the galaxy, imposed total radio silence, because it's paranoid, sitting there waiting, ready to eliminate anything that becomes a threat. 2. Maybe they're just not that smart. 3. A 2025 mathematical model showed that the probability of multiple intelligent civilizations arising at the same time is statistically extremely low. Maybe we're just in a loneliness zone, not a tragedy, just math. 4. On Earth, intelligence capable of building technology emerged once in 4 billion years. Once. Maybe we're first. 5. A 2024 study suggested that intelligent species go extinct before they ever make contact. Technological civilizations get wiped out by climate change, resource collapse, inability to control the technologies they created. Sound familiar? But there are other explanations. We're just not looking hard enough, spending a laughable amount of money on it, covering a tiny fraction of the sky. A NASA scientist proposed the radical ordinariness hypothesis. Maybe advanced civilizations are so common that none of them bother announcing themselves, like how you don't shout your existence at strangers on the street. Maybe we're searching the wrong way. Electromagnetic waves for them are like smoke signals for us. Maybe it's all happening in dark matter or dark energy, which make up most of the universe's mass and which we still barely understand. Or maybe we're looking at the wrong scale. Maybe intelligent civilizations figured out that life is just complex patterns of information, and those patterns work better at a tiny scale. The way massive stereo systems shrank into earbuds, maybe intelligence itself went microscopic. Maybe the solar system is crawling with aliens and we just can't see them. SETI is opening its data to the public right now. Millions of people can join the search. Maybe you. Scientists are already trying to build life from scratch, life that looks nothing like DNA, something completely different. All of this will help us figure out, is the universe full of life, or is it just us? Here it is, what I promised. 2 answers, both of them scary. If we're not alone, then someone out there exists, and they're quiet, on purpose. If we are alone, that in this massive, infinite, insane universe, only we ask questions. Only we think, dream, wonder what any of this means. And that might turn out to be one of the most important facts about the universe. Not an answer, just a fact. The more you know, the weirder the world gets. Not more boring, weirder. Stay curious. It's the only thing that actually works.